News.
News Talk 610 AM and 102.1 FM. KVNU.
KVNU News Time is 4:05. I'm Bill Walter with this news update brought to you by Cache Valley Pharmacy. Today, the Utah Department of Health revealed that in the last 28 days, people who are unvaccinated are at 5.2 times greater risk of dying from COVID-19, 7.1 times greater risk of being hospitalized, and 6.5 times greater risk of testing positive for COVID-19 than vaccinated individuals. Also included in the Utah Department of Health update were 19 COVID-19 deaths since Wednesday. There have been 2,860 COVID deaths in Utah, with 134 of them in Cache, Box Elder, and Rich counties. Almost 1,600 new positive cases were included in the Thursday report. 371 of them were school-aged children. Also, 115 positive cases were found in Utah's 3 northern counties. By Friday, Utah is expected to surpass 500,000 positive COVID-19 cases. As of today, there have been 499,026 cases since the start of the pandemic. There are 562 people hospitalized with COVID-19, one more than was reported Wednesday. 223 patients are in intensive care, 4 fewer than on Wednesday. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has announced that masks will be required inside temples to limit the spread of COVID-19. Church leaders said Wednesday that masks will be required temporarily in an effort to keep temples open. The message is the latest in a series of statements from church leaders encouraging masking and vaccination efforts against COVID-19. About 64% of Utah residents ages 12 and older were fully vaccinated as of Tuesday. And authorities in eastern Idaho say a 13-year-old girl has been taken into custody after having a firearm at Rigby Middle School in Rigby, Idaho. It's the same school where a shooting injured 2 students and a custodian in May. After the latest incident, school district officials immediately banned backpacks at 2 middle schools and 2 high schools. Jefferson County Sheriff Steve Anderson says a school resource officer on Thursday morning found the girl in the bathroom with the firearm. Anderson says the gun was in the girl's backpack and there were no shots fired. Back in May, 2 students and a custodian were shot, but not killed by a 6th grade girl at the school. KVNU weather brought to you by Winco Foods, now hiring for their new Logan store opening soon at 1341 North Main. Be part of this employee-owned company with competitive wages, employee stock, ownership plan, health benefits as low as $30 a month, 401k, and advancement opportunities. Apply at wincofoods.com/Logan jobs or text Winco to 97211. KVNU weather, mostly clear tonight, low in the low 40s, sunny around 78 tomorrow, sunny close to 80 on Saturday. For the latest news, visit CacheValleyDaily.com.
This is Phil with Cache Valley Pharmacy. We love being in Cache Valley and want to thank you for your support. Cache Valley Pharmacy features the best prices in the valley, and as always, free delivery. If you're in the market for prescriptions, check first with Cache Valley Pharmacy for the absolute best prices, especially on compounds and insulin. We've been doing pharmacy better than anyone else in the valley with free delivery valley-wide for the last 19 years. Cache Valley Pharmacy, the pharmacy delivery experts. Order your prescriptions online at CacheValleyPharmacy.com.
Dave Ramsey from 6 till 9 on News Talk KVNU, 102 FM and 610 AM.
Hi there. We're broadcasting from the job fair today at Castle Manor. It goes till 6 o'clock. We're in Hyde Park. Real easy to find. If you're looking for a job or a career change, this is most definitely the place you want to be. There are jobs available in construction, specifically the HVAC area of that. You got JM Mechanical here. In production, Casper's Ice Cream. Who doesn't want to work for an ice cream factory, right? Campbell's Pepperidge Farm is here in the food services production area. FedEx is looking for some logistics people. The Cache Valley Media Group is looking for someone to work in the engineering department. If you got some electrical engineering or electrical any kind of experience that way, bring a resume with you. Nexio is here. They're a staffing company. Visionary Homes is looking for people in the construction world. West Point Dairy is here. Procter & Gamble. Winco Foods is going to be opening here pretty soon in the Valley and looking for workers. To mention just a few, bring your resume with you, as I mentioned. Come talk to these folks. Don't be afraid to ask them about their paid time off, their benefits package as far as insurance goes, medical, dental, eyesight, all that. Man, they're competitive, too. I'll tell you what, these guys are serious about hiring, and they're looking for folks right now. If you're looking for a career change or just flat out of work and need a job, the job fair is where you want to be today till 6 o'clock at Castle Manor. We hope to see you.
Logan Dental Associates has been serving Cache Valley for over 20 years. They are excited to announce the addition of Dr. Brandon Preby, hygienist Emily Preby, and Dr. Curtis Taylor. Dr. Preby and Dr. Taylor will also continue to work at Cherry Creek Dental in Richmond. Now allow for increased hours and advanced services at Logan Dental Associates in Logan. Call and make your appointment with Dr. Brandon Preby or Dr. Curtis Taylor at Logan Dental Associates by calling 435-787-8207.
Hello everyone, I'm Keegan Garrity, candidate for Logan City Council. I'd like to invite you to stop by Willow Park this Saturday for a free community event sponsored by the Keegan for Logan campaign and Y Sound. There'll be food and local talent will be playing live music at the outdoor stage over by the zoo. I'll be there to briefly share what I hope to accomplish if I'm elected and answer any questions you might have. The event will kick off around 4:30 and go until dusk. I'll see you there.
Paid for by the committee to elect Keegan Garrity.
Hi, this is Brent Wallace with Cache Valley Bank. We love supporting local events like the Cache Valley Parade of Homes happening September 30th through October 9th. As you tour these beautiful homes, we invite you to visit our recently renovated Cache Valley Bank branches. Show your parade ticket and receive a complimentary sampler box of Bluebird chocolates. Visit one of our 7 locations from Smithfield to Hiram, including our mortgage office. Stop by during the Parade of Homes, meet our staff, and pick up your free chocolates. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
For the people.
We are waiting with bated breath for news from the Cache Republican Party meeting an executive committee tonight.
With Jason Williams.
And I'm really excited about this next segment. We have 2 guests here in studio. We're going to talk about something that we've talked about many times here on the show, but from a bit of a different angle.
Weekday afternoons from 4 till 6 on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102 FM.
Welcome to KVNU's For the People, hour 1 of today's show, Thursday, September 23rd. I'm Jason Williams. Bill Walter back in here in the studio with us again after, Bill, you've had quite a week. We're starting to think you don't love us anymore.
Oh, I do.
No, Bill had to be out yesterday again, but he's back again today. And also joining us here in the studio, as is tradition, every Thursday at 4 o'clock. For arts, entertainment, and theater talk, we have with us CacheValleyDaily.com's Charlie Schill. Quick note for listeners, coming up in hour 2, you're definitely going to want to stay tuned as this hour wraps because we have a very special guest from the Cache Valley Toys for Tots program. You probably don't think about this outside of the holiday season. They are in desperate need of some help right now in some very specific ways, including warehouse space. So we'll get details for you with Michael Soholtz, the coordinator of the Cache Valley Toys for Tots program, joining us in hour 2. Right now, though, as I said, Charlie Schill here in studio with us. And Charlie, I apologize. We had planned to give away these tickets to The Sound of Music today on the show, and due to unfortunate circumstances last week when I was flying solo here, I had to burn that one early. We had to make it a part of a show last week instead, and had a lot of fun doing that though. And Celeste at Music Theater West has promised she'll give us some options for more giveaways in the future, and hopefully that gets a few of these theater companies maybe thinking about joining in, and we can keep stepping up the requirements. But it was fun to hear people sing Sound of Music on the show, and it was really fun last week, Charlie, to talk with Celeste here in the studio. You brought her along with you last week.
Before that.
That's right, 2 weeks ago. It was fun to talk with, in my brain, it was fun to talk with her about the production of that show, and specifically about, what you and I had talked about many times, that there are some of these shows that you just feel are, just done to death, but they have to make them good.
See, but the thing is, talking about doing giveaways.
Sure.
You could do a giveaway for Sound of Music because everybody knows the music.
Yeah, everybody knows it.
If you were trying to do it for a show that is not the least bit familiar, something like Bright Star.
Yeah.
Or even Spam-A-Lot.
Swith
Spam-A-Lot you'd get.
I think I could do some of those songs.
Yes, you
some.
can.
Maybe not every.
Always look on
I can
the
do that
side
one.
of life.
I can even do the whistle in that one. Except not recently. I don't know if this is part of aging or what, but the other day I went to whistle and it wouldn't work. And I got thinking, what is going on here? I can't whistle anymore? So I had to sit and work at it, and I finally got the whistle working. But the things I entertain our listeners talking about,
You sure that's entertaining?
That's why I invite you in at least one day a week so that you can make it entertaining for people. This has really been fun to talk about, and we got some great feedback from a listener that I was going to throw out here to begin. A listener wrote and said that they really appreciated KVNU and this hour spotlighting some of this happening here in Cache Valley, and that they'd gotten out to more. We generated some excitement. They'd gotten out to more this year than they had before. And this person says, I love this. I actually saw a show at Pickleville twice this summer. I've never done that before, and I attribute that entirely to getting excited about something I heard you and Charlie talking about. So thank you for the segment. I wouldn't say we have an agenda here, but if we did have one, that's probably it, right? Getting people excited about this?
Sure.
I mean, we're not here to promote any one specific thing. Celeste even admitted when we were here in the studio that you were kind even in your criticism in your reviews.
Well, I started out when I first got out of the Army as an entertainment editor for a daily newspaper in Texas. And I covered movie and theater and traveling shows and all that kind of stuff. And you learn really fast that, you give a movie a bad review, the producers laugh all the way to the bank.
Sure.
I mean, no big deal.
Sure.
Traveling show, you see it, you write something up about it, even if it's a real dog.
Sure.
They're gone. They're inflicting themselves on some other community to the next night.
That's right.
But
a local
show, these people. Even if you've never actually met them, if you've seen them in 3 or 4 shows, you feel like you know them.
I'd never thought of that. Yeah. That would be, and within your position where you've done this as long as you have, you do know them, and you do, a lot of these people you've met again and again or interviewed again and again. So even if you go see something and you're just absolutely underwhelmed or even hate it, you still have to write that in a respectful way, right?
Sure.
That seems challenging. Is it hard not to just say,
well,
load of garbage, don't waste your time?
We've got 2 professional troops here and 3 semi-pros.
Sure.
And they're all good.
Yeah.
This is where a theater critic dies and goes to heaven.
I don't think I know we've talked about this before, but I really have been racking my brain on this. I really don't think I've ever been to something I hated. I've been to things I wouldn't see again.
Yeah.
I've been to things that I could only appreciate as, well, I'm sure there are people out there who appreciate that kind of response, But I've never been to something where I wanted to go demand my money back. I have been to movies like that.
Yeah.
But I've never been to a live theater performance and felt that way.
And the thing is, you still, even as I've been doing this for on and off for 40 years, you still learn something every time you go out there. Case in point. Now, we've been picking on Sound of Music for 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Done to death, been there, done that, blah, 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 got the T-shirt. Okay? So I go to see the Sound of Music premiere show last Friday.
Okay.
And just like we expected, they sold it.
Really?
Music Theater West can sell ice
That's
cubes
amazing.
to Eskimos. I know. But I didn't get it at first. I sit there and I watch this thing, and yep, good performances, great singing, terrific orchestration, everything you can want in a show. But there's this question in the back of my mind: how do they get up there on stage with a show that's old-fashioned and really everybody knows it?
Sure.
And how do they sell it? How do they make it so good? Well,
that's a good question.
They posted a thing on the internet, a trailer for the show, to drum up, enthusiasm for it. And you've got interspersed with clips, video clips of the show that they took during dress rehearsals, with interviews with people like Jay Richards, who directed the show, and the choreographer and the set designers and all that.
That's very
nice. And if you sit and listen to those people, believe me, they don't agree with you and me, period, about the Sound of Music. They are thrilled, proud to be performing a piece of theater history. And that comes out.
I get that.
It's like we talked about Peter Pan at Pickleville.
Yeah.
Now there's a done to death, old-fashioned show.
Oh, sure.
But it worked because those people were so wholeheartedly committed to it. No apologies. Boom. We're doing this show. That's exactly what's going on in the back of the minds of the people from Music Theater West. And it shows. That's why they're so good all the time.
That is really cool. I'd never thought of that is part of being in one of these classics. Might be for the crew, for the cast, for the theater production company. It's part of it, right? It's to do this and to do it well is like part of earning your chops.
Well, Jay Richards sits there and talks about that he's been associated with the Sound of Music on and off for decades.
Yeah.
And he really always wanted to do it. And you could tell. I mean, he's practically, jumping up and down on the couch doing a Tom Cruise deal.
That is very cool. That is
it, and it really is. And when you got somebody as talented as Jay Richards,
sure.
And I mean, he spread himself really thin. He was the director. He was the conductor.
That's a lot.
He did sets. That's an unusual combination for anybody to do.
It's a lot in one production, to say the least.
Absolutely.
That is, our guest here in studio again, Charlie Schill of CashValleyDaily.com, talking theater, arts, entertainment, and more. Right now talking about Sound of Music, currently playing here in Cache Valley up until September 25th. And on the 25th, there are 2 shows, by the way, that last day, 1:30 and 7:30. But now until then, 7:30 each evening. Tickets available at the Cache Arts website, cachearts.org. And this is brought and presented here in Cache Valley by Music Theater West. We'll keep the conversation going right after this.
Hey Aggie fans, shop Locker 42 before Saturday's 10 a.m. home game versus Boise State. Locker 42 is your source for everything Aggie. Put on a new Aggie logoed hat that you picked out from the Locker 42 wall of hats. Short and long sleeve Aggie t-shirts or an Aggie golf shirt. Stay warm with a new Aggie jacket. Pick out some Nike sideline gear or choose a popular Aggie hoodie. Shop either location, 1430 North Main next to Little Caesars, or the flagship store at 36 South Main. Locker 42.
It's open house time at Cox Honeyland in Logan, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You know Cox Honeyland for their honey, but did you know they have a fun gift store full of decor, treats, and more? Stop by for discounts on all fall and Halloween merchandise. They'll have in-store giveaways, samples, and of course, pure local honey is on sale during National Honey Month. That's Cox Honeyland and Gifts, 1780 South, Highway 89, Logan.
This is Sheriff Chad Jensen. OHVs are a lot of fun, but they also come with a lot of responsibility. Please make sure you are familiar with Utah State Code as well as your local ordinances before you head onto the roadways or head up into the canyons. You may notice more deputies in the canyon areas. Our traffic unit will be out ensuring that everyone is following the regulations. We want everyone to be safe, have fun, share the roads, share the canyons, and share the trails. Check out our Facebook page for some helpful links to find Utah OHV State Code as well as many of our local city ordinances.
Welcome back to KVN News for the People. Music Theater West has brought the sound of music to Cache Valley. A couple of weeks ago here on the show, we talked with one of the people behind this from Music Theater West as a guest here in the studio, and Charlie has since seen the production. And so we're talking about his thoughts on Sound of Music, playing up until Saturday, September 25th. And on the 25th, this Saturday, there are two shows, one at 1:30, one at 7:30. But 7:30 tonight and tomorrow night, available. Tickets still available at cachearts.org. And Charlie, we have a caller on the line. Wants to join in our conversation here. Jeff, your thoughts?
Yeah, thank you for letting me in again. I don't want to spoil the fun, right? But, the Sound of Music, one of the anniversaries of the movie, the Julie Andrews movie. Several years ago, there was a family weekly, I think, in one of the local newspapers. The true story is that when Captain Von Trapp did marry his governess, and when he got his orders to go to sea from the Austrian government, the whole family packed their suitcases and went down to the railroad station and went to Switzerland. That's the whole thing. And if you watch the movie...
That's not as romantic as climbing up the mountain.
I'm sorry. If you watch the movie, one of the scenes outside the convent, there's a short little lady wearing a long gray dress walks past inside the convent. That was the real Maria. They gave her a bit part in the movie, let her walk across behind the cars inside the convent. That was the real Maria. I just thought you might be interested in that part. I thought it was kind of fun.
That's great.
It's based very, very loosely on a true story.
Yeah.
Jeff, appreciate you calling in and telling that story. That was a good chuckle. It's harder to write a song about the way
down to the train station.
Yeah,
yes.
Just went to the train station and left.
Climb every caboose.
That's right. And I know I didn't know this. A relative of mine traveled to New York State a little while ago I can't remember why they went as a group, but this was a few years ago, and they toured the Von Trapp home there in. I think it's in New York State. It might be across the border. I'm trying to remember, but I'd forgotten that this was that had been lost on me. This was this was an actual family.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how big the Julie Andrews movie is. I think is that you can actually that's the history for most of us. But no, this was an actual family, and yeah, even though their escape was a little less daring and exciting than what you'll see in this production by Musical Theater West or the movie, it's based on a true story.
Well, you know what they say, when the truth conflicts with the legend, go with the legend.
The legend's always going to make a better musical, always. Charlie, I'd mentioned this to you earlier, but a relative of mine seen the show, or a friend of mine had seen the show and said that she really enjoyed their use of the singing nuns in this production. Is this the traditional use of the singing nuns?
Oh yeah,
it's kind of okay.
Everything about this production is traditional.
Really,
the woman who plays the Mother Superior, Susan Hatterley, just blows the doors off the theater.
Really?
She's unbelievable.
That is now a lot of this is music, right? This is not long gaps between songs kind of musical.
Yeah.
Are there some?
There's some, but yes, the nuns chorus is an integral part of the show. The kids. Oh my God! The 7 kids who were playing the trap children. They are so good.
Now I noticed so there's a trailer you mentioned here on YouTube on the Music Theater West YouTube channel, a sneak peek at the Sound of Music, and they really the kids feature prominently in this.
They should, because they steal the show.
I've always thought the process of casting children and producing a show this big with children would be really difficult.
Mm-hmm. It's fraught with peril.
Yeah.
And the worst possible thing is probably even worse than having kids playing those roles who aren't very good would be having kids who are good but have absolutely no chemistry with the girl playing Maria. That's a show killer.
That is,
but that's not the case here.
That's it, because they almost always are together.
Yes.
In this production, right? That is, you can kind of see it on Richard's face in this YouTube video. You can see, he said he's stretched himself pretty thin on this production. You can see on his face he's excited about this.
He's proud as punch. You can tell.
That is very cool. And is it Melinda or Melissa Richards? Or
I think Melissa is his daughter, who's
who's
working as an assistant director.
Okay, that is this looks to be a cool production. Singing, dancing, and everything you'd expect.
Mm-hmm.
All of it highlighted here. And how big's the orchestra again? I know Celeste
20.
mentioned this. 20. Okay, so that's pretty loud.
That's a big orchestra.
This is pretty much everything you need to get out and see this. Again, 7:30 show tonight and tomorrow night. Tickets still available for both. More so for tomorrow night than tonight at this point. And then Saturday, a 1:30 p.m. matinee, and Saturday evening, the final show, 7:30 p.m. at the Ellen Eccles Theater. Tickets available through Music Theater West at casharts.org for The Sound of Music. And we'll keep the conversation going with our good friend Charlie Schill of CashValleyDaily.com here in studio with us. We'll be back right after the news with KVNU's Bill Walter.
Thank you, Jason. KVNU News Time is 4:33, and the news is brought to you by the Duck Hunter. Mount Logan Middle School was briefly placed on lockdown after a juvenile allegedly tried to steal a car and then fled into the school. The incident occurred this morning as classes were being held. Logan City Police Chief Gary Jensen said the suspect was allegedly walking through the school's parking lot when they found a vehicle unlocked with keys inside. The teen got inside the car and attempted to drive it, crashing into a nearby picnic table. The suspect then reportedly got out of the car and ran into the school. Logan City School spokesperson Shanna Longhurst said as authorities assessed the situation and secured the scene, the school was placed on lockdown. During that time, all students were accounted for and safe within their classrooms. Jensen said officers found the suspect inside a classroom. Police are still trying to determine whether the juvenile was attempting to steal the car but didn't know how to drive or if it was an intentional prank. The lockdown was lifted once police located the suspect and determined there was no threat to those inside the school. Jensen said there were allegations that the suspect was armed with a gun. However, police later determined there was no firearm. No one was injured. The case will be referred to juvenile court. The Utah Department of Health announced this week that a monoclonal antibody infusion center on the campus of the Intermountain Healthcare Employee Services Center in Murray is now open. This temporary medical facility will serve as a high-volume site, providing treatment to as many as 50 patients per day and supplementing monoclonal antibody infusions that have already taken place in hospitals and other centers across Utah for the past year. Governor Spencer Cox released a statement in which he said, in part, monoclonal antibody treatments are another tool in the toolbox to keep people out of the hospital, and as a state, we are working to administer every available dose to those who need it, according to the governor's statement. Since November 2020, about 7,100 Utahns have received monoclonal antibody infusions, preventing an estimated 900 hospitalizations. When identified early and treated with these antibodies, 1 in 8 Utahns who have tested positive for COVID and are at the highest risk of severe disease have avoided hospitalization. Utah has typically been allocated 1,330 monoclonal antibody doses a week. Treatment time takes about 2 hours, including registration, preparation, infusion, and 1 hour of monitoring afterwards. KVNU News Time is 4:36.
Believe it or not, a high-quality furnace air filter will reduce the amount of dust and pollen carelessly floating around in your home. John at the Duct Hunter says always buy a higher quality air filter. If you can see through a filter, you probably should pass on it. If you're not sure about which furnace air filter to buy, give John a call. He only carries the highest quality, which will reduce the dust and pollen in your home. For a free consultation, call the Duct Hunter at 770-4813.
We are the Duct Hunter. Breathe better, save money, protect your home. We are the Duct Hunter.
KVNU weather for tonight, mostly clear, low in the low 40s, sunny around 78 tomorrow, sunny around 80 on Saturday. Right now we have 74 at KVNU. KVNU weather is brought to you by LendRight Mortgage. They have interest rates that are usually 0.25% lower or more than other lenders. With an ultra-low-cost business model, other lenders just can't compete. Buying or refinancing, call LendRight Mortgage at 801-APPROVE or visit lendrightmortgage.com. For more details on these and other stories, visit CashValleyDaily.com. Let's check Wall Street now with Edward Jones.
This is Branch Office Administrator Becky Johnson bringing you the Daily Financial Market Report on behalf of Financial Advisor Mike Arnold and Edward Jones. Stocks jumped for a second day in a row as equity markets tried to recover from the 4-day September losing streak. Cyclical stocks led the gains as investors' worries over economic growth eased. U.S. Treasury yields have moved higher following the Federal Reserve meeting comments, even as jobless claims came in lower than expected. Following suit, Asian and European shares are also higher, despite a warning that the Chinese government is preparing for Evergrande's collapse. U.S. equities closed higher today. The Dow was up 507 points at 34.765. The Nasdaq was up 155 points at 15,052. S&P was up 53 points at 4,449. The bond market, the 10-year Treasury yields are trading higher by 0.9%. In stocks of local interest, Autoleaf was up $1.95 at 86.58. Chevron's up $2.42 at $100.06. Dominion's down 58 cents at 74.26. Home Depot's down 2 cents at $335.91. Kroger's up 8 cents by $40.18. Lowe's is down 91 cents at $207.98. McDonald's is up $1.65 at $244.78. Microsoft is up 98 cents at $299.56. Nucor's up $2.22 at 99.40. Philip Morris is up 94 cents at 101.45. R.R. Donnelley's up 7 cents at $4.42, and Walmart's up 8 cents at $142.77. The price of crude oil was up 99 cents at $73.22, and gold was down $32 at $1,747.30. This has been today's Financial Market Report, brought to you on behalf of Edward Jones, member SIPC, and financial advisor Mike Arnold, serving individual investors with personalized attention and financial advice at 135 North Main Suite 102 in Logan. If you'd like additional information, please contact our branch office at 753-2915. Daily commentary is also located on our website at edwardjones.com.
The Riverwoods Conference Center is the center in Cache Valley for business, entertainment, and special events. Whether you're hosting a large or small event, you have the choice of inside with all the new modern interior renovations or outside along the scenic banks of the beautiful Logan River. The Riverwoods is an ideal choice, offering seamless planning, easy catering coordination, and will make your event as professional or as beautiful as desired. To book your next event or for more info, visit theriverwoods.com or call 435-750-5151. We'll see you at the Riverwoods.
Friday edition, Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show. The most dangerous man on Twitter, or at least he used to be, Alex Berenson, will join us with the absolute latest data on the COVID mess. Plus, Buck, what else we got?
We have the BLM movement saying that vaccine passports in New York City are racist. Some of us were saying this was going to be a problem all along. We're going to do it coming up on the Clay and Buck Show.
10 to 1 on News Talk KVNU, 102 FM and 610 AM.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. It is our arts and entertainment hour that still needs a name. We need listeners to suggest them. KVNUFTP@gmail.com. Please email your suggestions in. Charlie with us Charlie Schill of CacheValleyDaily.com with us every Thursday from 4 to 5. This week, again, a couple of weeks ago, we talked with Celeste of Musical Theater West about the Sound of Music production, how much work it was. And now we're talking about, well, Charlie has seen it. So we've had a chance to actually get a review from him, and his exact words here: they sold it. So get out and see this one. You've got tonight, tomorrow night, and 2 shows on Saturday. CacheArts.org, the website again, and this is just full steam ahead on our theater schedule here, right?
Well, we've got to move on because we have been so focused on Sound of Music for the past couple of weeks that we've let a couple of shows creep right up on us.
Yes.
The first one is The Addams Family at Pickleville Playhouse. This is the third annual, third time in a row, consecutive year in a row, that they've done this show. And
by popular demand this time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Derek Davis, the director, put out an email, back last fall, asking people what show they wanted to see, and he gave them a range of, kind of mystery, Halloween-y shows to choose from, and what he got was a write-in candidate.
Audience demand said, no, hold up.
we want the Addams Family again, and there's good reason for that.
Sure.
Over a period of 2 years, they assembled a really terrific cast. And this third season, this third episode, third revision of it, has got most of the cast from the last year's performance coming back.
Okay.
With a couple exceptions. One that kind of bothers me because Kaylee Davis, who is one of the kids from the famous Davis talented clan over there, has played Wednesday Addams in the first 2 productions they did of the Addams Family. And she's marvelous. She is so good. I mean, she comes on and she plays a young woman who's fallen in love, and she wants her family to fake being normal for one dinner when they meet the prospective in-laws. And of course, nothing goes right.
Sure.
But she's marvelous, and this year she's just decided to step out of the spotlight, and she's gonna perform in the chorus.
Interesting.
And Caitlin Walsh, the young actress who played Wendy in Peter Pan this summer, is going to take over as Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
And
that is.
I'm sure she'll be great. She was great in both Becoming a Bonafide Bad Guy and Peter Pan. Oh boy, I'm stuck on Kylie. I'd really like to see her do it again.
That is. I know that was very popular last year.
Oh yeah, and Derek is promising on a stack of Bibles that this is the last year they're going to do the Addams Family.
Really?
Yes.
They're saying even if
this is it. This is it. We're not doing it again.
That is. I know that you'd mentioned this, but they didn't plan to do it this many times. In general, I don't know if they'd planned the 2 years, but you'd mentioned they were kind of looking to shake things up a little bit this year.
They'd never done a fall show previously. Under normal circumstances, they do 2 shows in the summer, a show that Derek and T.J. Davis write and put music to and choreograph all by themselves. And believe me, the Davis clan has got talent to do that.
Sure.
But back in 2019, they decided they were going to try to do a fall show, see what kind of response they would get. Well, the place was gangbusters. I mean,
that's
sold
fun.
out shows night after night. So
that is.
And then last year, Pickleville, did the old show must go on during the pandemic. They did a melodrama. They didn't do a theatrical show last summer in 2020. But then they did the Addams Family again. And that was primarily because they already had a cast picked out for that.
Oh, okay.
They knew, you could get somebody back. They had to replace a couple people, but, you've got a Lurch, and you got an Uncle Fester.
And I wanted to point this out. Those 2 roles specifically, Uncle Fester and Lurch, those are not easy roles to cast.
No.
Not the way you're supposed to cast them, at least.
You can't have somebody who's 5'6" play Lurch.
Yeah, that's right.
You need a giant.
You need someone very tall. And then for Uncle Fester, you need someone that has that Uncle Fester look.
Very weird.
Which is
too.
rare.
Yes.
That is. Now, the story of this one, as you've mentioned, sort of focuses on this scenario with Wednesday, with the daughter.
The Addams trying to be normal. And who knows what's normal.
I love this. And this starts, I didn't realize this. I had October in my mind. This starts
tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
The first show, 7 p.m. tomorrow night.
And they're basically doing this show Friday and Saturday nights.
Throughout
between
October.
now and October 23rd. There's a Thursday show mixed in there towards the end of the run.
Okay.
And they're doing matinees on Saturdays.
Okay.
But
that is,
the thing is that, when I went to see it last year, I thought, you've done it before, you got a cast, these people might give in to temptation to just phone it in.
Yeah.
No way.
Really?
No way. Great show. Great show.
That is
even better than the 2019 version.
That's very cool. And that is again underway tomorrow evening. And looking here at the website, which is picklevilleplayhouse.com, by the way, there are seats available. Some decent blocks of seats available towards the back. Just a handful of seats available in the halfway point forward. So that is already starting to get close to selling out for tomorrow night's opening show. And then at 4 o'clock on Saturday, matinee, followed by 7 p.m. on Saturday this weekend, opening weekend for the Addams Family at Pickleville Playhouse. And if you saw what they did this summer, and if you've seen this in the past, this is definitely you won't regret your time or money.
Nope. I regret that I'm not going to be able to see that show tomorrow night.
The opening show.
Let it creep up on me. And we've got another show also starting tomorrow night. The Four Seasons people in Smithfield are opening Cinderella.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
I
did
remembered it was on the calendar. I forgot that was tomorrow.
So did I. Totally embarrassed.
That is... Well, we should talk about that on the other side of our last break, because we have... So, again, for listeners, Pickleville Playhouse opening The Addams Family tomorrow night at 7 p.m. That's a surprise to me. I had all of this a few weeks away still. And on the other side, as Charlie mentioned, Four Seasons launching Cinderella tomorrow night as well. We'll be back right after this.
NMLS 1817019.
Lendrite Mortgage declares freedom from high rates and closing costs with the introduction of our Freedom Loan. What is a Freedom Loan? 1, you pay 0 closing costs. 2, you get a rate that's the same or lower than the rate other lenders charge you thousands in points and fees to get. The choice is clear. Pay thousands more than you should with another lender, or get the same or lower rate and have the Freedom Loan cover 100% of your closing costs. Act now. Freedom Loan APRs are as low as 1.92% for 8 to 15-year terms and 2.67% for 16 to 30-year terms. Call 801-APPROVE or visit lendritemortgage.com. Get a Freedom Loan and say no to high rates and closing costs. Call 801-APPROVE or visit lendritemortgage.com.
Welcome to Everyone's Metal Store, home to tons of metal products for the DIYer or experienced pros. With a sales staff ready to assist with any type of metal question, Palmer's Metal Mart in Logan is your metal store, no matter the size of your project. With one of the state's best selections of metal products under one roof, you will love the price and selection at Metal Mart. For almost 30 years, for projects big or small, customers have found their home for metal products and extraordinary service to be at Metal Mart. No matter your knowledge of metal products, Metal Mart is here to serve. Give us a call or come into our store in Logan and see why we're everyone's metal store. If you need metal roofing, tubing or pipe, sheet metal, angle iron, purlins or rebar, call Palmer's Metal Mart today. When it comes to metal, just remember Palmer's Metal Mart, everyone's metal store. It's not simple. Visit us online at palmersmetalmart.com or in Logan, just east of the airport. Steel, service, and savings. See you soon.
Hi everyone, it's Congressman Blake Moore. Please join me for a public telephone town hall event on Thursday, September 23rd at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Let's talk inflation, immigration, Afghanistan, Hill Air Force Base, my recent wins for Utah's defense community, wildfire prevention, and anything else you'd like. Call in on Thursday, September 23rd at 7 p.m. Mountain Time at 833-305-1678. It's an honor to serve you, and I look forward to hearing from you on Thursday. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Summer heat will soon turn to rain and snow. Is your roof prepared for another winter? RoofMax by Quality Pace Roofing is a nationally recognized and approved roof rejuvenation product, saving you thousands over shingle replacement. RoofMax is a quick and affordable alternative to a complicated and expensive roof replacement, extending your shingle roof up to 15 years beyond the roof warranty. RoofMax by Quality Pace Roofing can rejuvenate your roof without replacement. Google Quality Pace Roofing or call 757-9642.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. It is our entertainment hour with Charlie Schill here in the studio. You can read Charlie's work at CashValleyDaily.com each and every day. Perfect.
That's what I was trying to play, but it wouldn't play for me.
It was getting... Addams Family starting tomorrow night at Pickleville Playhouse. Tickets on sale at picklevilleplayhouse.com. And that was perfect, Bill. That song, for some reason, every time I hear it, I just want to go watch some of that old TV show. Still makes me laugh when I catch reruns. But this Pickleville production, pretty entertaining. Picklevilleplayhouse.com. And then, Charlie, you reminded us that, so you can't go to the opening night show tomorrow night at Pickleville because you...
Got to go to Cinderella in Smithfield.
That is... I have that on my calendar as you've laid these out for us, but I spaced that was this Friday.
Happening so soon, yeah.
That is amazing.
That's another one, Show's been done to death. Was originally written by Rodgers and Hammerstein, not for the stage, but for television.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. There were several different versions of the thing that had been on television. There was one with Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
There was one with Leslie Warren. I think I've got that first name wrong. But
I'm trying to remember.
Goes back to the late 50s, early 60s. And the interesting thing about this one is the show was revived a few years ago for a touring company, I believe. And for the national tour, I mean, the music is okay, you know.
Sure.
But the script was really dated.
Really?
Yeah. And so they wrote an entirely new book for the show.
Interesting.
Totally different script. Much more colloquial, more jokes that will appeal to a modern audience, that sort of thing. And I believe that the Four Seasons people are using that new script.
Interesting.
Now, Four Seasons is a very traditional outfit. I mean, they've been doing A Christmas Carol over and over and over again for years. And, you know, it's like the script is holy writ. They don't touch it.
Nothing changes.
Nothing changes. Sets change a little. And, you know, the cast changes with people moving in and out of the area, but and they'll be doing the Christmas Carol again this year.
Interesting.
But it'll be interesting to see them working with a more contemporary script for Cinderella. God knows it needed it.
Needed an update, right?
It did.
That is, and so that starts tomorrow night. And runs for how long?
Oh, you got me.
I had the website up and I've closed it. It is
a couple weeks, I think.
Yeah, I know it's not a short run. It's.
I think it's this weekend and the following weekend, and a Monday show is what they usually do.
That's right. Yeah, it says September 24th through the 16th
of October.
That's
a long run for them. Good for them.
Oh yeah, it is Friday, September 24th to Saturday, October 26th. That is quite a run.
Yeah.
So now I didn't know this had originally been written for television.
Oh yeah.
As produced for the stage.
And the poor thing has been butchered numerous times. There was one time that production was set up, and they wanted it to be done in an hour.
Really?
Yes.
That is
basically it was. They converted the entire show into 8 little scenes that would fit between the commercials.
Between the commercial breaks. That is now obviously with this they've expanded that. They've got a little more flexibility, right? That is I like that though. Very fun. Yeah, this is.
It's good that they are doing an extended run of the show. Four Seasons got shut down completely because they perform at Skyview High School.
Yeah.
And with the schools having so many restrictions on who could do this and who could do that and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, they had no home.
That's so they had to basically shut it down for the year,
Completely.
It's too bad.
I mean, they've been dark for about 14 months.
Really glad to see them back on this, though.
Because they're worth seeing.
That is very cool. Tickets are available for that, by the way, including a few left for tomorrow night's show as it opens, fourseasonstheater.org. The other show we discussed was Addams Family, starting tomorrow night at Pickerville Playhouse. and that is picklevilleplayhouse.org or .com, the website for those tickets. Both shows still have a few seats left tomorrow night. Other than that, you've got a few days, weeks to see them, and then they're gone. Charlie will be back with us next week. Stay tuned for hour 2 of